Over the lifetime of a project, you need to look at it from many perspectives. That's why Project has dozens of built-in views that you can display in different panes within the main project window. Project lets you pick the view you want in a number of places within the program. The initial view that you see is the timeline view at the top of the window and the Gantt chart view at the bottom. Now, the timeline view is a great view for an overall picture of your project in just one simple bar. Then at the bottom, the Gantt chart view fills in the detail with a table on the left with columns of data about each task. And on the right-hand side, you have a timescale that gives you a graphical look at when those tasks actually occur. One thing to understand about project views is that this Gantt chart view is considered a single view, even though it has a table pane on the left and a timescale pane on the right. Now, there are a couple different places that you can select views. The first place, since we're on the Task tab, is the Gantt chart button right on the left-hand side of the ribbon. Click the top half of the Gantt chart button to get the Gantt chart view that you have selected. Click the bottom half of the Gantt chart button to get a drop-down menu of different views that you can apply. And if you don't see the view that you want, go down to the very bottom of the menu and choose More Views. And then you get the More Views dialog box, and you can select whatever view you want. In this case, I'm going to choose Resource Allocation, and then click Apply. Now, this view actually has two views in it, so it's called a combination view. It has the resource usage view in the top, and it has the leveling Gantt in the bottom. If you want to turn off the bottom view, go to the View tab and turn off the Details checkbox. And then I'll click the top half of the Gantt chart button again to go back to the Gantt chart. Now, the next place that you can find views is on the Resource tab. The Resource tab is really similar to what you see on the Task tab. So you've got a View section on the left side of the ribbon. If you click the top half of the button, you see the Team Planner view. If you click the bottom half of the button, you get the drop-down menu, and you can choose the view that you want. But the best place to get to views is on the View tab. It has two whole sections for choosing views. The Task Views section has several buttons for popular task-oriented views, like the Gantt chart, task usage, and the calendar, which looks like a desktop calendar. Then the Resource Views section has buttons for the popular resource views, so you can click one of those. For example, like resource usage. This is another one that it's a single view, but it has two panes, the table on the left. And in this case, rather than a time scale, it has what we call a time-phased grid, so you can actually see data in the cells. The other thing that's interesting about the usage view is that you can see, I'm going to scroll down a little bit. In this case, the summary row is for a resource, and you actually see all the different assignments for that resource. So this information in the time-scaled grid is actually information about assignments. Now, there's one other spot that you can get to views, and that's down at the very lower right-hand corner of the window in the status bar. There's an icon for Gantt chart, task usage, team planner, and resource sheet. You can just click one of those to get to that view at any time. Another shortcut for getting to views, go up to the upper left-hand corner of the window and click this down arrow on the Quick Access toolbar. Then turn on the View command, and that adds a drop-down list of views that you can choose at any time. The Quick Access toolbar is always available, so it's a really great way to get to views. And it's got the More Views command down at the bottom. And if you want to remove that from the Quick Access toolbar, click the down arrow again and just turn off the check mark. Now, the one thing you can do is you can also tell Project what your favorite view is, so it'll show that every time you start a new project. To do that, go to the File tab and choose Options. And then in the Project Options dialog box, there's this default view. Click the down arrow, choose the view that you want. It's set to Gantt with timeline, but if you want just the Gantt chart, you could choose that in the menu. I'm going to leave it the way it is, though. You can choose views from several tabs in the ribbon, as well as on the status bar. Later, we'll talk about how to work with the timeline pane, the primary pane, and another view pane called the Details pane.